Minutes with me, Angela Ajitumobi. Some people are saying, let Dr. Jonathan be a statesman. And if coming back in 2015 to contest again will escalate this violence.
Angela, we will not be fair to say Jonathan cannot come back to contest. That's the truth of it. But the truth of the matter is that we should buckle up to ensure that some people are working on script to ensure that they disintegrate the country. Despite the fact that Americans on one hand, they are predicting that maybe 2015 we may just wake up, there will be no Nigeria. The fact still remains that some of us may have to collectively make a lot of sacrifices. The key issue is that what I will ask those who are saying you should not contest, is he not a Nigerian? And if he's a Nigerian, is he not eligible to contest?
Yes.
Is it against the Constitution? And if the Constitution allows him to contest, he should contest. But one thing is that all of us as a people must decide, is he qualified to get our mandate again or not?
Yes.
That will be decided by Nigeria. But I do not share that sentiment with other people who believe, no, he cannot contest.
Yes.
Why? Is it constitutional or is that a threat? We have a government that took a lot of things for granted. Ordinarily, in normal circumstances, Obasanjo couldn't have tolerated this mess he's giving to this government.
But everyone uses that as a plus for Dr. Jonathan, that he is a liberal president, he has a democratic mind, he allows freedom of speech.
But so many people are taking a lot of advantage to make a lot of mockery of him. That's the truth. Nobody is above the law. Obasanjo is not above the law. That's why I give kudos to General Abacha's government that brought this man, and unfortunately some people just went and just make some arrangement and bring him out from prison and just making what it is. Now on...
You think Abacha's treatment of Obasanjo
was very right. You cannot undermine somebody in government. You can't undermine power that be. At that particular time, you go ahead to be doing all this mockery. Like what he was doing now is as good as treason. Yeah. Obasanjo should be held for treason. You can't just say such kind of statement. Did you know how many million Nigerians he has worked on their psyche, believing on him, apart from some of us who are so exposed to struggle, who know who Obasanjo is? If you talk about clearly issue of carrot and stick, is it truly what he had applied during his days? Is he saying that we forget so soon about what happened in Zakibiam? Okay, is he saying that we forget so easily during his reign when he did another massacre in Odioma? Is he trying to tell us that Jonathan should do the same so that at the end of the day, the international community and other people will now attach so many things to this government and call the government a dictatorship or something?
Okay, but doesn't it surprise you, though, that some people are believing those allegations? Take the case of the Minister for Aviation, for instance. A lot of people still don't understand why she is still a favored member.
I agree on that level. Yes, there was corruption. Yes, this woman needs to explain properly. If found wanting, she must be dealt with decisively. There are a lot of issues apart from that of aviation. There are a lot of issues regarding the person manning even the oil sector. The Minister for Petroleum. Of course. But then, let us also look, I'm not saying I'm justifying the action of these corrupt leaders now, because of course they are corrupt. But let us go to genesis of this whole trouble. If Obasanjo had actually put the record very right, perhaps we couldn't have fallen into what we were going through. In the past 8 years of Obasanjo government, was there any time that you had a Minister for Petroleum? Obasanjo was president of the country. He was the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And at the same time, he was the one manning the ministry for petroleum. Nobody asked for an account of penny from that ministry. So what are we talking about? If there was a corruption, Obasanjo actually laid that template for the whole corruption. And to that extent, we should give the credit to him, whether good or bad. Obasanjo is the genesis of this calamity that befell Nigeria.
Do you think President Jonathan should be replying this letter? Some people say if he does, he's going to keep the story on the front pages.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Angela, in fairness to you, there's no story here. But I would have urged Jonathan to do more than what he's doing. One, he must be very decisive. Two, this government must have more of people orientation.
You think the advisors around Dr. Jonathan...
They're not really doing good to him. That's just the truth. Jonathan as a person, I don't think he has any problem with anybody in Nigeria. But the problem he has is that those cronies around him, those people working, his kitchen cabinet are really not helping the matter.
They're not effective.
They make it not only effective, they are even making more mockery of the government. Some of them were behaving as if they are just local champion coming from their village, found themselves in Abuja in the seat of governors, and they don't even know what to do. In terms of public relationship, they are too poor. In terms of communicating to the society,
yes,
they are poor. In terms of even buying some progressive idea to move the government to the next level,
yes,
is a problem. And one of the key issues is that in 1998, there was no time where we had any constitutional conference when Nigeria comes together to make that document called 1999 conference. And that is the problem I'm having. If you look at the content of that constitution,
yes,
it has been bugged with a lot of decrees. And that is what makes the president of the country, not Jonathan, any president that found himself in that position, yes, will be more stronger than any other institution in the world. In the world. I'm not even talking about Africa, the yes, black race, or even Nigeria now. I'm talking about the world, because if you look at the way the constitution is, it is clear that if you are a president of Nigeria, you can even make it easy to remove a sitting governor. And that is what has been happening during the Obasanjo government. Obasanjo, how many governors did he remove because of one thing or the other, because they are perceived to be enemies? You
think that constitution had the flavor of military because it was coined by military?
In fact, that was why I say it has been bugged by a lot of decrees. That constitution is being imposed by the Salami Abubakar administration.
Yes.
And some of us were totally against that constitution at the beginning. If other progressive were listening, yes, perhaps we couldn't have found ourselves where we were. But at the end of the day today, we find ourselves in a problem where the constitution issue has become a major threat.
Yes.
Until we address this issue of constitution. Angela, I do not agree with this system. The legitimacy of that document must be put properly, so that it will be on record that sometimes Nigeria sat down and make a constitution that have legitimacy backing, yes, and at the same time everybody agree that it's binding on everybody.
But you see, the thing is, political office holders who have use this constitution now to get into office, you and I know they're not going to change a winning formula. You are already there and you are enjoying this, what we, for want of a better word to use, we call a bastardized constitution. If you're benefiting from it, how will you want to change it? You won't.
This is where Nigerian comes, that all of us collectively will have to agree that yes, that document is faulty, and if the document is faulty, I believe with our strength, if we can do it right, we will force Nigerians, we will force those who claim to represent us, yes, we will force those who assume themselves into these political offices, be it governor, be it president, be it senator, be it House of Reps, a local government chairman, or even a councillor, yes, that they must be compelled to do what is right. They are not to do it, because I knew in all over the world, there's nowhere governments sit down and allow for sovereign national conference.
Yes.
I knew, it's on record. But then people will have to be determined. Angela, some of us have come a long way. We talk, we behave funny, and there's no amount of threat we've not seen in our lives.
Yes.
There's no amount of ruggedness we've not seen in the part of government, especially the Obasanjo government, that some of us were even killed.